This is section 8.1. This is part 5. We are told the length of a rectangle is 40 meters and the width is 9 meters. Find the measure of the diagonal of the rectangle. Well, technically with a rectangle, it doesn't matter what you call length or width. Let's just say this is 9 meters and this is 40 meters. That makes this 9 meters and this also 40 meters. What we're being asked to do is to find the length of the diagonal, which is the length from one side to the other. I could have drawn it this way as well. It should be the same length. With a rectangle, we know that these are all supposed to be right angles. So what we have here are two right triangles. Let's say I ignore this one. If I can find this length of the triangle, then I have the length of the diagonal. If I have a right triangle, I can use the Pythagorean Theorem. I just have to figure out which piece is missing. Now the legs always form the right triangle. So these are A and B, and it doesn't matter which one you call which. I'm looking for C. So let's use the Pythagorean Theorem. A squared would be 9 squared, plus B squared, which is 40 squared, is equal to C squared. That would be 81 plus 1600 is equal to C squared. So 1681 is equal to C squared. Let's take that square root. This is saying what number times itself gives you 1681. This is also saying what number times itself gives you 1681. So let's type that in the calculator and see what we get. And we get 41. So this length from here to here would be 41 meters. Okay, last page. We are asked to evaluate the following. Evaluate means do the arithmetic. Okay. Now we have cube roots. We have fourth roots. We have an index other than 2. Remember, if the index is missing, it's understood to be 2. It's a square root. This is a cube root. This is saying what number cubed, or what number times itself 3 times, gives you 1,000. Now your calculators will do these. Okay. If you look on your calculator on this one, look directly up here, you should see x and then the square root. So it looks like this. On the black calculator, it's in the same position exactly. Here's your square root. It's the one above, but it has a little box and then a square root. These are the buttons you're going to need to find roots other than square roots. Okay, and they work the same way. I want to find a cube root, so I'm going to enter the 3 first. And then I hit second in that button, and you can see that the 3 jumps up to be an index. And then I type in 1,000, and I get 10. And I can check that if I want to. If I do 10 raised to the 3rd power, I should get 1,000 back, and I do. Okay. Now, here we have a negative on the inside. That caused us problems earlier. But what I did say is that a negative on the inside can cause problems. Let's type this in the calculator. I want a 3rd root, so 3. Second, and then that root button. Negative 343. Remember, it gave me a domain error when I tried it with the square root, but now it just gives me negative 7. Now, why would that be? It caused a problem with the square root because we were either multiplying a positive and a positive, or we were multiplying a negative and a negative, and we can get a positive here and a positive here. There's no way to get a negative answer. Whereas if I'm multiplying 3 things together, and it's all the same, I could have 3 negatives. And if you multiply 3 negatives, you get a negative answer. When the index is odd, a negative can be on the inside. Okay, that's your basic rule, because an odd number of negatives multiplied together does give a negative answer, so it is a possibility. So this answer is -7. I wrote that a little bit badly. Let me try better. -7. Okay, so let's try the fourth root of 625. This is asking what number times itself 4 times gives you 625. It works the same way. 4, and then second in that button, it becomes a fourth root of 625, and the answer is 5. That means 5 raised to the 4th power should be 625, and it is. Okay, one more. My index is even. Now I said it's okay when it's odd, so I should get something wrong here. I'm either multiplying 4 positives together or multiplying 4 negatives together. Either way, I should get a positive answer. This is not going to be possible. Plug it in your calculator to make sure. And I get domain error. This is also not a real number. So your calculators can help you here, but only if you enter them exactly as they are written.